Have you been playing 2.0? Or are you so...
I have, and it's not that easy.
No, it's not. At least it's easier now than it was in the PTU.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely fixing all the bugs, and the whole point is to get it out to people because you can't really stress test something unless you're doing it for real.
Mm-hmm.
So, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, 500,000 people, 1 million people is a whole other ball game of intensity for the servers and
yeah, I can
everything.
imagine.
Yeah, totally.
I was actually going to ask you later on, but since we're on the topic, do you have access to the actual numbers of how many unique accounts are
Concurrent?
concurrent? Yeah. Well, not right now, I mean, but in your,
We did have some of that circulate, and also for things like when we're live streaming and people who are on the site and things like that. I think there was like 20,000 concurrent at one point on the site.
Wow.
That just that's a whole other level for the platform team.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, there's only like a dozen or so people doing QA, and then as soon as it goes to PTU, it's 1,000 times more. And that must be... I can imagine why we have a few issues, yes, for now still.
Well, the community's getting quite big. It just...
Bigger and bigger, like 1,100,000 now it is?
Yeah,
I believe.
It kind of exponentially exploded.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Every time there's a great commercial, I think there's a huge inflow of new users. I think the Pupil to Planet video really spurred things along because that was an amazing video. I think I've had it on loop ever since it's released.
I think it is CIG's most viewed video on your YouTube channel, like by a huge margin, and it's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, I don't know if I've seen another game that has that.
Yeah.
So
there are games that attempt it, but nowhere near this level of fidelity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, so interesting times for us.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Especially going into Christmas. I'm just looking at the customer service tickets going, oh my gosh!
Yeah. But, well, let's get to the questions then, since... one thing I wanted to share with you, maybe you will appreciate it more than my co-host over here. It's part of an upcoming mod that I have to my computer, and it's this.
Ooh, Anvil Aerospace.
No, it's Aegis, actually.
Oh!
Yes.
Wait, what?
I got it wrong as well.
My brand. Well, you see, without the...
It's...
Okay, let me just look up Anvil Aerospace while I'm at it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, this is the top part of my CPU cooler.
Cool.
And there's a LED plate that shines behind it that shows me basically what the temperature of the processor is. And yeah, I modded it to look like this. Usually it has the Corsair logo on it, but yeah, it's going to adorn my computer for years to come.
Cool. Yeah, and what color is the LED light? Blue or red? Or green?
It actually depends on the temperature.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's cool, it's green. If it's hot, it's red, and then something somewhere between, or yellowy, orangey, stuff like that.
Fancy. Very nice.
So, moving on to Star Citizen and questions therein.
Yeah. We wanted to know, basically, it's sort of impossible for everybody at CIG to be into the game from a sort of a gamer's perspective. Like, for instance, I really can't imagine Ortwin coming home from hard days of managing the company and sitting down behind the computer and going into Arena Commander and kicking Vandal ass. I would love to be wrong because that would be hilariously awesome. However, I just can't imagine it. So we were just wondering, how into Star Citizen are you from a sort of end-user gamer sort of perspective?
Are you a gamer?
Me personally?
Yes, you personally.
Well, I guess I mean, I guess it's, what do you define as a gamer? Somebody who plays games, and for how long does that need to be per week or whatever? So,
No,
I mean,
basically
certainly I used to play a lot of games, but currently now I don't have as much time to do
yes,
that.
I would imagine. Well, basically just a person who plays games for their own personal enjoyment. Doesn't matter how many hours a day it is, because scheduling doesn't really permit.
Yeah,
But-
well, on that, I would say then that I'm a casual gamer.
Mm.
Because if I have a couple of friends who are like, hey, come on, let's do this, let's hang out, let's play, then sure. But I won't necessarily, I don't like to do that stuff by myself so much.
That's
Like,
respectable.
Even if I'm doing like Metal Gear, like Chris and I played Metal Gear Solid, like I don't like to do it by myself. I want to do,
fair
you know
enough.
what I mean? Like I want to,
Yeah, you need a co-pilot for some of those games. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
totally relate.
yeah. And I'm also not as, like, because I work so much, and then I don't have a lot of headspace to have patience. So
Oh, yeah.
I always ask Chris, I'm like, okay, now what? It's like, so,
But
Yeah.
in regards to Star Citizen, are you looking forward to when the final game shows up, to just playing it, or is it more just from a sort of managerial perspective? Are you interested?
I'm definitely into playing it. I mean, personally, I'm an extreme kind of person. So, I like the extreme sports, but then I like to just sit around and kind of do nothing. So I like to race ships and explode them. And then the other aspect, I just like to kind of, explore, just kind of goof off and really don't do a lot, but kind of sightsee.
So you'd say the most exposure you've had with video games for a long time now is Star Citizen, as it would be.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I obviously I try and do my homework, and when we went into the crowdfund 3 years ago, I played a lot of different games and kind of looked at how they did things and stuff, and I found that. But see, I'm also very big on the visual side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's why I liked Metal Gear Solid, or like Uncharted, or of course, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
But I find something like Minecraft is great, but I find it the visuals for me, it's really hard. Like that.
Yeah.
The concept of the Lego building and the world building, great, but looking at it for me, I find it really difficult to get into that. Or like I tried Clash of Clans, League of Legends.
Yeah. You played League?
Yeah, I wasn't very good. It was really hard for me to. I think because the person that I was playing with knew every single like there's 108 characters or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I just felt it was so hard.
Yeah, it's not always the best playing with that guy, if you know what I mean. Like, the one that knows everything,
It's like, I don't know. Okay, now what can I do? Like, is it this potion or this explosion or this, all the different secrets and things that you can do. Like, it was so much to store in my head that I was like,
Yeah.
I'm either full-time at this, or it's not particularly something that I can jump into casually. And
Yeah, but do you think that Star Citizen is going to be a game that you can pick up casually? Because there will certainly be aspects of it that will be very attractive to the extreme players. That's the people who really invest their time into it. But on the other hand, you'll have people like yourself who maybe have at maximum 1 or 2 hours a day to play. So is there going to be a balance struck there?
I mean, I definitely think there is. Like, I could totally see myself like the shared hangar setup, where you just kind of go in and like go to somebody else's hangar and like just kind of sit around and chat for a while. Could be something that I would do. I mean, I definitely do that via whatever Skype or email to fans around the world. So I would totally do that in game. Would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well.
Which is this casual, and it's like I just want something that my head doesn't have to think too much because I'm so busy. But if I have to really think on top of that after I finished a really long day, it's like, oh. what do I do again? What am I, you know?
Yeah, it's one of the things that the game offers that I really like. That it's got so much depth, and so much to offer that you can literally do anything. Like for instance, if you wanted to just log on and say hi to your friends, like you mentioned, then you could. Or if you wanted to like be the biggest badass squadron in the world and like take out everybody, you could, and you could coexist in the same game world and have a chat, and
Right.
do whatever you want. Yeah.
Or like just exploring around, like in the freelancer or whatever. That's cool to me.
Is that your favorite ship then?
It's not my favorite ship. It's just more like exploration, because to me that doesn't take a lot of mind power either. You're just it's like meditation or listening to nice music or whatever. At the end of a long day, you're just kind of flying through space, going
But what is your favorite ship? Since we're on the subject.
Well, when we did the live stream and I saw the Saber, I was quite into that. So
the Saber is a pretty ship, yeah.
Well, Aegis Dynamics just by general make very nice looking ships. Although right now they don't really make a ship that fills a function that I'm after. So, which is why my pride and joy of my hangar is the Carrack.
Right, okay.
So this is the kind of ship that I want because I've done so much research into it, even photoshopping composites next to Serenity, because it is Serenity down to the meter, the layout and everything where the cargo area is.
That's your thing.
That's my thing, yeah. And as soon as Aegis comes up with a ship like that, I'm going to be kicking myself because I didn't wait and just go that way, so...
You can always use the melting tool and...
True.
Oh, yeah.
I might, although I think I'll wait until the Carrack is in the game and see just how much I like it.
Now that I'm looking at all the manufacturer logos, they're actually quite similar without the dialogue, without the text. Except the Banu one, that's kind of out there.
Yeah. So, from a marketing perspective, has your job scaled well since you and Chris first set out, or have you found yourself flooded with like more responsibilities and like you never knew you would have signed up for, at the very beginning? How has the journey been?
I would say definitely the latter. For sure. Because, I pride myself in being very organized and on top of everything. And this is one of those things where it just gets out of hand when there's a lot of people. Like, you just can't give that special attention to those few people like you could in the beginning.
Yeah. So do you find yourself unable sometimes to, keep in touch with employees like you used to? How is communication between yourself and now your huge company, or is it more or less easy?
On my side, I think that's pretty good because basically people like Ben or Dave Haddock or Chris, obviously, a lot of those core people that I worked with right from the start are still there, and so it's like going into battle or something together. We've been through lots of everything, so we know each other so well that bit works great.
Yeah,
which is a real plus. Communicating with other employees, it's kind of as it goes on longer. I think it's kind of like friends.
Yeah,
like you make a lot of friends at college, right? And then when you kind of come out of college, it's not as easy to make close friends because people tend to have their group or their circle, and then it's hard to kind of get in. So with the new employees, it's
harder
in a way. I think maybe you've got to just find the right kind of personality, and we've been learning as we go, like when you are the process of hiring people that fit with the right kind of... It's not for everybody, right, to be in this kind of fast-paced, multitasking, open development.
I can get behind that,
atmosphere. I mean, some people just don't even like being on camera. I mean, like the UK and Germany, we ask them all the time, and it's hard.
Well, this is something that I talked to James when we had him on the show, is how has the whole feel of the company changed since the very early days when it was more or less like a mom and pop sort of shop versus the world, and now that it's grown to several hundred people with studios around the world, basically you are one of the bigger studios. You've grown into that. How has that changed the way not just your job is concerned, but the whole company, if you have any sort of insight into that?
I think, we have good people at the top, like the good producers, and so they're really good at the team, like morale and the team expansion, so to speak. I mean, I think that in my department, it's strangely the toughest one to expand, because we're the ones that do most of the on-camera stuff, and we're very, very close to the community. As opposed to some of the devs. Yes, they're on camera, but they
Okay.
It's I think I definitely for sure in the LA office we have great producers who like we're going to our Star Wars today, and we've got the Christmas party tonight. And everybody's super excited for that. No spoilers, please.
Please, no spoilers. I'm seeing it on Sunday, and I think I've already had something spoiled to me online previously, and I was almost ready to strangle them.
You have to stay off social media.
Yeah, I'm now spoiler proof, thankfully. So yeah, I feel good about that. I saw it yesterday.
You saw it yesterday?
Yeah, I'm spoiler proof now, you see.
So I think in general it's been pretty good with the Austin, UK, Germany, and LA producers who kind of keep that morale and everything up and make sure everybody stays as a nice team.
Okay. So, okay, there are a bunch of questions that are popping up now. I'm being PM'd by quite a few people.
Well, you sort that out, and I'll ask the next one. Basically, one of the this is out from the list of questions that Lucinet and I. He is very sorry for not being able to join, but as Christmas is around the corner, he has a lot of things that his girlfriend would like him to do, so he has just less time to spend on his hobby. How hard is it to sell this game with zero marketing budget?
For me, it's not so much about the budget, which we don't have. It's it's more about the real challenges of open development, because they'll tell me some things are ready in October, which is their best guess, but because they're doing R&D at the same time as working on stuff, it could be December. And so marketing with kind of shifting goalposts is not easy.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to sell something when your release date for everything is just soon TM.
So speaking of challenges, like what are the biggest challenges you foresee, going forward as the company grows in size?
Certainly from my side, which has been the last to grow, I would say. Like all the developers and everybody, they've got, I think I take up only a dozen or a few more of 260 people. So as we move closer, and also our community's exploded. So that I think will be quite challenging for us to find, we need more on the community side to support that. A lot of the marketing will be a little more traditional. Not to say that we're spending thousands of dollars, but more traditional in the sense that it might be easier for me to actually employ people because they'll understand what they're marketing. Whereas this is really hard, like we just described. So I think it's just going to be, when Squadron 42 launches, that could be 1 million copies. It could be 3 million copies. It could be 500,000 copies. It could be... So let's just say it's 3 million copies. Well, do we have the resources to support that?
Yeah, that is quite a daunting challenge. Right.
So, and then, That's probably the biggest challenge, is kind of not knowing, because as more of the game comes online, and like literally in the past week, we've got thousands of new backers,
I
like
see.
thousands of people who've bought the $45 pledge. Like for the past few days before the live stream, that was all pretty much new backers.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that requires a whole other level of support. So now that procedural video, People to Planet, for example, let's just say when that drops next year, I mean, I want to try, you know, like, of course, I want to try that for $45. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So what if you get 200,000 people who just decide, I want to play that today?
So tell us more about the real Sandi Gardiner then. The internet tells us that you schooled in Japan and the Philippines as a child. So can you speak Japanese?
はい、日本語話します。
Oh, Joseph.
上手ですね。Yeah. Yes, I'm not saying anything exciting. Yes, and Tagalog.
Oh, that's cool. So like, amazing. Another question that's come up is, so can you give us an insight into a day in the life of Sandi Gardiner?
Sure.
Marketing VP.
A day in the life of Sandi Gardiner. I usually wake up around 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and I will check my phone, and there's about 70 or 80 emails in my inbox. And I will run through and answer all of those really quickly, because that's usually either UK customer service who wants some answers, or Germany, or something else going on in the UK. So I'll answer all of that, and then I usually go back to sleep for 30 minutes or so. And then I'll check my phone again, and there'll be the follow-up email, because it's not really done in the first email. You know, they come back to you, and then you go back again.
Yeah.
And then whether it's our hardware partners or peripheral partners, or our merchandising, that usually I go back and forth. I forgot about that. I usually go back and forth with China for about an hour as to what's happening over there.
With China?
China.
We manufacture our merchandise there.
That
yes,
makes a
of
lot of
course,
sense,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's always issues with that. You know, like for example, when we first shipped the Constellation models, they all got stuck with Mr. Wang. You know, just silly, funny stuff that happens. That's kind of like right now we're shipping the concierge black cards.
Oh, yeah.
So you know, there's always logistics. There's certain countries that we shipped to over 99 countries. So there's one country that we can't, like for whatever reason, we can't ship within China because it's a Chinese, whatever. There's just stuff, right? Like so I go on back and forth for an hour.
So basically very, very busy.
Yeah, very busy. And then during the day, like today, I've got to, I am going to go deal with some office stuff. So with our new office, obviously we're closing down still a few things. And then I approve other stuff, like we built sets for ATV and RTV and all of those things. Yep.
It's good to see that that part is getting the overhaul it kind of deserves, because the scope of the shows has been getting greater and greater with almost every episode. But you were still running everything. Basically, it seemed like in the basement of the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
So-
nice to have some space and a bit more creative, you know,
Yeah.
feeling.
So we've seen all the big names and lights, you know, for the upcoming Squadron 42, right? You know, we've seen Mark Hamill and all the other names. But as many will know, you yourself are also an actress, and you know, you have a blossoming, you know, career. I mean, you had that tattoo. Sadly, I think it's gone now. I can't see it on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
So will we be seeing you, Sandi, immortalized in Star Citizen in any way, or are you not able to tell us?
In Star Citizen or in Squadron 42?
In both. Why not?
Yeah. Well, in Star Citizen, I turned into, the Constellation commercial.
Oh,
I
yeah.
turned into a middle-aged man, the guy that goes down the thing and gets exploded out of the.
That was you?
Me. That was me. Yeah.
I remember that.
And the Cutlass commercial where the girl comes out of the ship, that's me,
Okay.
So those things. But in Squadron 42, I play a character by the name of Pusher, and she's pretty cool. So hopefully that's good fun for people to fly along.
Spoilers.
No, it's already up, I think, on IMDb. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because currently on Squadron 42's main website, there's only Gary Oldman's and Mark Hamill's characters that are revealed,
like fleshed out.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I suppose you went through the entire gamut of facial scanning and.
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that was just such a hectic, time because I'm also doing my marketing job, and then in my lunch break, I was doing the EPKs, the interviews with Mark and John, and it was kind of hectic. Like I look at those videos of me doing the behind the scenes interviews or whatever with the actors. I'm like, God, I look so tired. Either that or I'm like super nerdy looking. Like
you're basically just like everybody else around here would be if we were face to face with some of our childhood heroes. Yeah, I suppose.
Right. Yeah.
Starstruck and everything. Do you ever stop getting starstruck even when you get to the sort of higher echelons of the celebrity circles, or however you want to say it, even though that sounds really dorky? But do you think you ever stop getting starstruck?
I think it's different. Obviously, it's different for different people, but I think it also, from my experience anyway, it's taken me by surprise. Like for some actors who I thought I would be starstruck by, I was like, nothing happened. but then there was like Gary Oldman. I was like, oh, like it just
Mr. Oldman.
Yeah, or like I saw Guillermo del Toro at the YouTube space about a year ago now, and I literally was just. That's the first time in my life I've ever gone, oh my God, I just want to get a picture. Do you think I could go up and ask for a picture? I felt like one of our fans, I was like, God, and then I went up to him and said, excuse me, sorry, would it be okay if I just felt like such a nerd. But that was really the first time I'd had that experience, and it kind of caught me by surprise because, great, I love his movies, but I didn't think that I would be so starstruck meeting him in person.
Yeah, I have to admit, the same thing happened during CitizenCon. Like, we were queuing up and like, oh yeah, we're going to a Star Citizen convention, not truly knowing what that really meant. It was like my first convention. I hadn't seen, anybody I'd seen, on any kind of like media platform in person before. So we're just queuing up, and then all of a sudden it's like, she's from around the verse. Oh my God, it's freaking Sandi. I couldn't speak when I walked past you. Then like, I had to come back and it's like, would it be okay if we had a picture? And I don't know if you remember that, do you?
I do, yeah. I think I retweeted your picture on my.
You did. That was so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe part of it is the element of surprise, right? Because if you feel like you're actually going to meet that person, you kind of get a few of the butterflies at least. Out first. But if that person just randomly shows up, and you're not prepared. You're like, hi,
Yeah, totally.
I got the golden star on my ticket at Gamescom this year, so I got to go backstage and meet everybody, and I recorded Chris doing a little promo for our podcast, but it was so hard for me to get the words out of my mouth.
Right. Right. You just feel like complete, like, he.
Yeah, exactly. And he was so nice and so.
Yeah.
And afterwards, when I was thinking about it, well, he's just a regular guy, just, who made it. But he's no different than me. I mean, he's just so nice and friendly, and he was, so whatever. But yeah, there's nothing magical about it. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, a couple people on chat are asking about your necklace.
Oh, this is it's part of the dress that I'm wearing
Okay.
because we're going to Star Wars and then we've got the Christmas party, so I figured I should be dressed already because.
Okay.
So it wasn't just for this occasion that you dressed yourself up. I feel like I think I was supposed to give.
You feel underdressed. You didn't get
Yes.
the memo that yeah.
Yes. Hold on. I'll just pop into my
Yeah.
tuxedo that I keep on the stand right next to my studio, just for such an occasion.
Well, no, I mean, I actually am in this outfit earlier than I should be because I thought I can't be in sweats on my Skype call. So it is partly for you guys.
Oh.
There you
Now
go.
I do feel underdressed. Well, we were just skipping over questions, and there's a few that I would like to know the answers to. I did send you these beforehand, so there's nothing that should really.
Yeah, go for it.
What was it like dealing with Chris and the rest before the Kickstarter campaign was announced? Was he talking about the game? I mean, I'm sure the game wasn't really fleshed out as it is now, at least in his head. But was he talking about this project that he wants to do, that he's always been dreaming about doing?
Oh yeah, he'd been talking about it forever.
You're just kind of biding his time, was he? Like waiting for it?
Well, it was just there's timing and the appropriate channel for it. I mean, I remember mentioning to him that we should crowdfund it ourselves after I'd done a lot of work and like homework on it. And we felt at the time that was the best way to go about it. So
It looks like you were correct.
Do you think that you wouldn't have been able to get to where you were without that initial Kickstarter? Like, let's say if you went through conventional means, do you think you would be where you are right now?
what do you mean?
Like going through a publisher, etc.
Oh,
I just-
no, probably not.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think that I think a lot of what speaks to people is that the connection is quite real.
Yeah.
So, and we just took that whole level of communication to another level. Because
Yeah.
Kickstarter itself, or any kind of funding platform, isn't particularly like once the Kickstarter campaign, for example, is finished. Like on Kickstarter, you really don't get updates or interaction with the community. You've got those
Yeah.
Kickstarter forums. I don't know if it's changed. I just remember when we did it, there was
Yeah.
no real. That's why the whole time I said to Chris, let's just do our own site because I really want people to. And we knew it was going to take a while. I mean, that's game development. I mean,
But what do you
So-
think is the reason for Star Citizen's success as opposed to some other games that have been on Kickstarter for basically the same thing? Like, well, let's say Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, they all had Kickstarter campaigns, but nowhere near as successful before or after the end of the campaign as Star Citizen has. Like, for instance, Elite Dangerous just came out with a DLC where you can go down to the planet side, and for some reason, I don't find myself wanting to give them the money for it, even though I spend so much more on Star Citizen. And it's not a matter of how much budget I have to spend for games, just something about it that
well,
drive-
let me ask you, do you feel connected to Elite and Dangerous like you do to Star Citizen?
No, not even close. So that's part of my question. What do you think is that magical thing that connects Star Citizen and CIG to its community that, separates the fools from their money, so to speak?
I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of pieces involved. I mean, I can't remember when I was discussing it with Chris, but I said to him that if I wasn't, I'm not saying that it's me that's the magic sauce, but if somebody like myself, like if I wasn't doing the marketing and all the customer service and all of that stuff from the beginning to now, like I would never apply for this job. So I'm coming at all of the connection stuff, the community stuff with Ben from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
Because I'm not coming at it from having worked in the gaming industry and then I'm applying for a job in the gaming industry. I'm coming from a whole lot of other industries that do service differently. So they do service and they do a sense of community differently from how it, from what I was seeing of all these other games. So I think a combination of that with Chris's vision, which is definitely quite unique and grand, you get a lot of people connecting to that.
I see.
That they don't really want to, you have games, okay, great. But am I going to keep going back? What is really connecting me to that game?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if it's just a game, I kind of feel like I'm a bit bored. There's nothing really, because it's your shared experiences. So if I'm with my friends and we're having a shared experience of something, then I can't replace that. So if I die right now, I'm like, I bought all these games, but I had a real experience on Star Citizen.
Yeah, there's something that I wanted to, because it's more than just a few hours of entertainment while you take your mind off your daily life. It is an experience that you want your life to be part of. It's not something to unwind with. It's basically just, I get that, And I think Star Citizen has great potential to become that. It's something, It's, the reason why so many people are addicted to Second Life is because they have great experiences there. They make connections with people and interact with them on a level that they maybe wouldn't be able to in real life, or it's just easier because of the geographical distances or something.
Right. Right. I mean, even like the speech that I gave at CitizenCon, minus the crying part, it's true that people are, if you're going to make friends based on a common like or love for something, and then you're just, all the rest of it's kind of irrelevant. Like you leave your baggage at the door and you've got this friend that you're going to an event with, or you're hooking up for lunch or a drink or whatever, and you're just having a good time. That's something that's, I don't think it's that easy to get in today's world. There's something about that they're a stranger, but they're not really a stranger. So you can completely be yourself. It's different. It's like if it was my cousin or my family, there's a whole bunch of history with them. I'm not saying I don't like my family, but but it's a different experience to the fans that I chat with, and then we go and like have a good laugh or whatever, and that's something pretty memorable for me.
So sorry to break the train of conversation, but chat keeps shouting at me, and someone says that, no, Meyer, that's not the necklace we're talking about. Sometimes Sandi wears this pendant. It's like a gold square. Yeah, what's the story behind that?
It's a computer chip.
Yeah,
so,
it did bear a resemblance to it. Yeah, I just didn't picture you as a sort of girl who would adorn herself in such devices.
It's a computer chip. So it was created by a Harvard graduate, and there's very few of them in the world, but they're worn by different people. Well, not necessarily worn around your neck, but usually most people will put it in their pocket or somewhere. So some athletes have it, a lot of actors have it, and it's basically just a centering of like energy and stuff like that.
I see. That's very peculiar.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
that pertains to my spiritual side. So.
I see.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, Doris, do you have any more questions?
Well, there was one thing. Meyer would like his MVP card, if that is at all possible.
Oh yeah,
still around.
I got MVP on Around the Verse that one time. Like I think it was 2 weeks ago. And
Okay.
yeah, and you're like, MVP is card Meyer. Do you keep
Okay.
those cards?
Gosh,
Is
that's
it in
a
the
really
bin?
good question because we moved offices.
Oh yeah.
That's like $1 million question, but we could
Ah,
definitely make another one and have everybody sign it if you want.
Oh,
that would be
you lucky
amazing.
dog.
We
I'd have it
could,
framed.
yeah, we could make you one for sure. Just
Oh,
send me a message and I'll get it done.
Wow, I'm so stoked. Thanks. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, there's just a few quick fire questions and then we'll let you go because we've already took about
Go
an
for
hour
it.
of your time, right? These were just pre-compiled before. What is your favorite caffeinated beverage?
Right now I'm drinking chai tea.
Shy tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
TT.
hmm
Do you like snakes?
Who came up with
Really?
these?
The forum.
All right.
Not,
Okay.
not really. They're kind of, I like things I can cuddle. And that's not really in that category.
You could cuddle a snake, just
You
not,
could
not for
cuddle a
very long.
Yeah, hey, I have friends who have snakes and power to them, but they're cold and their eyes are beady and I don't,
Well, isn't it a part of several snakes' repertoire? Power cuddling, as it's called.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, each to his own, but that's not really me.
Right. Next up, what is your favorite intoxicant?
Vodka.
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 Vodka. And we already talked about your favorite Star Citizenship, but what is your favorite non-Star Citizen spaceship?
Do you have one?
Or do you even concern yourself with such trivial matters?
You mean like the Millennium Falcon or something?
Or
Yeah.
some other iconic ship, yeah, from a TV show or a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm hankering for a favorite. I definitely have great appreciation for a lot of those ships. I mean, certainly a lot of ships that Ryan Church has done, I'm like completely mind blown by those.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, he's just an outstanding, amazing artist. So they would probably be my non-Star Citizen ship fetishes.
How excited are you about the new Star Wars movie? We already talked about it, but yeah.
I am pretty excited about that, and I'm trying to like brace myself because it's like one of those things where if my expectations are super high, you know, I just don't want to go in with expectations, and I don't want to hear any spoilers. So I'm kind of holding my excitement.
Well, I have been told it is excellent.
Okay, great. That's all. That's a good thing to hear.
Yes, and last but not least, would you agree that Test Squadron, which is our organization, is best squadron?
Sure.
Yes, it is canon.
Confirmed.
Well, thank you very much, Sandy. It was great having you on the show. And do you think it'd be possible for you to convince Chris to take an hour of his time someday in the future to do the same?
I'm sure I could make that happen. He's in Manchester in the first couple of weeks of January. It's funny because he just did a radio spot on, I think it's KNBC or KCBS, San Francisco radio station.
Oh, okay.
And they had him on for 5 minutes, and
Oh.
I just had a good giggle. I
Wow.
was like, how many questions did they get in? Did they at least get one question? He said 2. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
So-
if you could make that happen, I would melt, but I will still try to, not make a fool of myself. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
I can try. I mean, I may not be able to get an hour, but although he'll probably talk for an hour, but
Per question, probably.
Yeah.
As is his.
His
he
MO.
does, yes. Well, thank you again.
absolutely, guys, and send me your details.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, for
we'll
the. I don't know if I can get that done today, but I'll definitely
There's
put it in.
time for the time. But anyway, yes. Thank you to Twitch for tuning in, and thank you for everybody on YouTube who have been watching this ever since its release, whatever. And we will see you in the verse.
Yay! See you in the verse.
Yeah.